What is going on, all the marvelous people out there? We are back for another episode of Power to the Ground podcast, going over some round 2 action at Thunder Valley. And it was a good race. Till we get into it, let me jump on over here. Throwing off my game a little bit. Just jumped on like maybe 3 minutes ago, trying to get everything typed in and all ready to go. Tiller's hanging out in the dark. So, yeah, let's go ahead and give Sean over there Bro Taco hot sauce. Big ol' shout out, brotacofoods.com. Use the code PTTG for 20% off your order. Also, a big shout out, Sunstar Sprockets and Chains, sunstar-braking.com. Email support. Use anything to do with PTTG and get you 30% off of your next order. Also, don't forget to stop over to theground.com. Get in on some pick'ems. I got a big old goose egg this weekend for some pick'ems. I was in a place without cell service, and I completely forgot to even try to set my thing. But by the time I did remember, I realized I had absolutely zero cell service, and I couldn't even sneak it in. But yeah, stop on over. Do a little bit better than me. Make sure that you play next week. I know I will. I can't miss 2 weeks in a row. That'll be bad. But
it's okay. I haven't had a chance to do the math yet, but I imagine based on the results that it's probably might be a low-scoring weekend for some people.
2 low-scoring weekends in a row?
Well, you know, we're not quite at the point where we've got the exact same 5 people in the top 5 every weekend like we finished off with Supercross.
Yeah. I mean, the only 2 that I don't see being there the majority of the weekends are Cianciarulo and Barcia. Can't even lie about that one. That's and with 250s, I don't see it getting shaken up much more than what it is with recent injuries. So
yeah, 250s. I don't see changing up a whole lot more than that. 1 or 2, 2 max.
Yeah, but it's we'll see. That's there was a lot of battling back and forth though.
This was some exciting racing.
Yeah, that's Ferrandis, Cianciarulo, and Roxon in particular were definitely giving it the sauce, man. Like they were getting after it.
Yeah, I didn't think the 450s would have battling right there at the front like it did. It paid off for the fans a lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
I don't really know what I was expecting after last weekend, but I didn't think that the top 3 would be battling the whole time like that.
Well, I mean, usually you get what your top 1 or 2 will kind of run out a couple seconds, and then you get your battle like 3 through 5th or 3rd through 5th, you know, and then after that, it's just kind of like a train of people shuffling about.
That's kind of like the 250s turned out to be.
Yeah,
where there was some action around the top right at the very beginning. Then some moves were made. Those settled, and then the fun stuff was back there.
Oh yeah. Well, you also have to remember those top guys, even Barcia. Barcia's always been pretty decent outdoors, you know. But like Roxon, Ferrandis, Cianciarulo, Plessinger, I'm surprised Marv's not up there. He seems to be having some more problems like he was in Supercross. But those 4 guys in particular, I would have no problem saying that they will be somewhere towards the top for the for the vast majority of the motos. You know, I mean, those guys are very fast. Cianciarulo still makes some weird mistakes, you know, but he's fast, and you can't deny that, you know. Roxon is always, he might have always been one of the fastest guys in the 450s in general, no matter where they're kind of running. But he seems to, the batteries are recharged, man. We'll see how long they stay charged. but
Yeah.
he's he's moving out pretty good. So hopefully it all works out.
So do we just want to start with the 450s then, since we already kind of rolled into it? Just officially make it
Sure.
450
My
start?
my captions on the right hand side of the screen mean absolutely nothing about the way that this show is going to go. So that's I don't know why. I just jumped in and it happened. I didn't know what else to say.
That'll happen sometimes. That'll
Oh yeah.
happen. So yeah, for the 450 overall results, we had Mr. Ken Roxon going with a 1-1. And then Dylan Francis finished with a 2-2 on the weekend. Adam Cianciarulo 3-6. Justin Barsha was fourth overall with a 7-3. Aaron Plessinger with a 5-4. And then Chase Sexton, because of, I just want to touch on it because of the way the scoring works, he gets a 5-4 for a sixth overall. Just how scoring works in outdoors. Yeah, and so that leaves us with a championship right now. Ken still got the lead, 90 points over Dylan Francis with 89 points. So not too big of a lead there. Aaron Plessinger's in third overall for the championship. That's pretty exciting. 74
Yeah.
points. 16 points back after 4 motos isn't too bad. But granted, only 4 motos out of 24 in. But if Ken and Dylan, effectively go 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 with some threes thrown in every now and then, that 16 is going to turn into a lot and make it a lot harder to catch up on, unless they both, have the bad motos with goose eggs. Justin Barsh is in fourth with 69 points. That's appropriate with his gear this weekend. That's fun. Chase Sexton's in fifth with 67 points. And then just because it's sixth place, Adam, I wouldn't have guessed that. I just wouldn't have thought that he was in sixth place in the championship after his speed last weekend and everything. But then when you consider what happened to him both weekends, six makes sense. Yeah, and that's
You
that's where
mean
we are.
crashing?
Yeah. Where you end up on the ground instead of
Yeah, that little bit, just
yeah.
speaking of crashes, there was I am surprised that Ferranda saved it when he almost yard sailed it off the side just before I think it was the finish line when he
right there on the right hander. He just shot straight
just
off.
gone.
I guess
I don't
that's
know
what
what
he
he was
figured,
doing.
that he lost his rear brake. Yeah, you think that's, like, joking aside, I wonder if that's the moment where his rear brake just went out was right before that, and that's why he went flying so fast off the side.
I don't know. Those two were pushing each other though, so it's hard to say.
It could have been a number of things. He could have just saw that was the only way off of not going into something else or eating it, was to just go flying off the track right there and then stop when he got off the track.
Oh yeah. And then speaking of old Kenny Roxon with the red plate again, I'm just gonna say the red plate does look nice on a Honda, because especially the HRCs, because all the colors just work out.
It's the right red for the red plate.
Yeah.
I still remember seeing the first time he got it in Supercross this year.
Oh yeah,
I saw some
nice.
photos of it, and I had to admit, I was like, it does look good on a Honda.
Now, here's the question though: how long does he keep it for?
Well, since we're talking about it, and this is the thing, he killed it at the beginning of Supercross. He was there. He was doing well. He might have had a few small mistakes, but he was still killing it. He was winning, and then something turned around and he stopped winning. And it's not that he just started performing outright terribly, where he started in 10th, finished in 10th kind of thing. He was doing something else. We've talked about that over and over and over again, but I don't. I think he obviously has to keep doing this as long as he can. That's the super obvious point. In case something happens and he needs to just salvage it at the end. Of
Yeah.
course, if everybody else behind him can't stay consistent, for some reason, maybe it ends up second through sixth every weekend ends up being a completely different range of guys, and it's not Dylan behind him every weekend. So maybe he's just getting just enough points over the other while everybody else is swapping like a salad bowl. Um, but I couldn't. I'll make bets all day long on some dumb stuff. I've got no way of predicting what he's going to do. I would have never said that he'd go win the second, third, and fourth motos of the season. I don't, and I think his history kind of shows that you can't. I don't think there's any way you can predict it.
I'm thinking he's going to hold on to it until the first week of August. Because the first week of August is when it's going to start getting hot. And they're going to start heading up into like the northern Midwest area where it starts getting real humid. And I don't know. Just based on what we've seen.
Is the first August one, right? Unadilla, then they go Butts Creek, so. Iron Man. Yeah.
Yeah. And it gets hot, dude. And given his past, I don't know if he's going to hold on to it. We might
How high do you think it's going to be at High Point at the end of the month?
The end of this month? Mm-hmm. Well, this weekend here, while we were out racing, it was, I showed you the temperature. Mm-hmm. And it was high humidity too. It floated. I think that thermometer at my house hit like 100, 103. But it was an average of like 90 all weekend and high humidity. The only reason I didn't melt being a fat, hairy kid is because I am outside all the time anyway. So I was kind of used to it. But like at the late model race that I was at Saturday night, man, there was people falling out everywhere. There was heat casualties everywhere. Damn. So, yeah. So it's, when it gets hot around here, it gets hot, it's not unlike the inner Carolinas, out towards the mountains where you don't get that sea breeze, man. You get just hot, sticky. Yeah. And in the past, Ken hasn't done very good with that.
Well, I think that's the thing, it's definitely an interesting point because in Supercross, it wasn't clearly health stuff, where at least maybe it's because it was talked about more.
It wasn't physical health.
And it was, yeah, it wasn't as obviously physical health. But maybe, Supercross in 2019, maybe because it was talked about more, it was just kind of assumed that his fading was health issues. And he was kind of leading that direction too with some of what he was saying. And he never said it this year. So maybe, it didn't feel like health issues. They were causing him to fade late in the races or make mistakes and never recover after maybe a heart rate spike or something like that.
I know there was talks about him having EBV. Nobody ever confirmed it, yes or no. And that's when he took time to like stop training, didn't race outdoors last year. Just really hung out, came up with this new Zen Ken. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I don't know if it is logically a physical health issue. I don't know if it's a mental health issue. But when the going gets hard, we haven't seen Kenny Roczen get going either.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's kind of my thing. And I think when it gets hot, it gets dirty, it gets muggy, we start possibly seeing some outdoor mutters, stuff like that. I don't know if Kenny's gonna get going, man. That's my thing,
Yeah.
because when
You're gonna
it's
give it
uh
how many races of non-podium in a row before we can call it as a here comes the downward spiral.
I would probably say 3 weeks, not necessarily motos,
Mm-hmm.
because it is outdoors. Weird shit happens, man. You can go like 7-4 and still get third. It just depends on what the 40 other guys are doing. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So I would have to say probably 3 weekends in a row.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think that would be enough to be a consistent, like, oh, this isn't just a weird
Yeah. And
weekend.
don't forget who he's been battling with too. That's old
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Ferrandez. That dude is good outdoors. Rookie stuff aside, that dude's been riding 450s for a while now. Everybody knows it. When he goes and practices like the 2 years before he actually bumped up to 450s, all his practices were on 450s.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he came out a little slow in Supercross because he was still nursing an injury. So as we saw him start to progress towards the end of Supercross, I really believe that was him getting over his injury. And we're
Mm-hmm.
actually seeing the Dylan Ferrandez that we all kind of expected, at least I expected, outdoors. He's healthy, he's fast. That dude can ride any bike. You could probably put him on an RMZ and he'd be up there battling in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that dude outdoors is something else that I don't
He
think we've
definitely
ever seen.
displays riding skill,
Yeah.
ability to manhandle the bike out there. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that definitely, like you said, it definitely depends on who he's battling and what happens with the rest of it. I think it'll be.
And you have seen Cirillo. He's not afraid to throw an elbow. And you
No,
have
they were
Plessinger.
throwing elbows on each other. He was throwing elbows with Kenny this weekend,
Yeah.
which was kind of
And
exciting.
and you got Plessinger who's not afraid to check somebody into a tunnel wall. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's the big thing. It's just kind of, you have to look at Kenny in a vacuum and then Kenny versus the other guys that he's been battling so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's gonna. Cause I just don't see. I don't know. Maybe it is just different this year, and because Coop, I don't know. It's so hard. We're only 4 out of 24 in.
I feel like I broke you, man. Like, that was a pretty deep question to start it off with.
Yeah, just looking at it, and this isn't what I expected. This isn't what I wanted to see. Because it's so different than what we expected. I don't even know how I could mentally process it staying this way for the rest of even if the top 5 just juggles, with 1 or 2 jumping into there. It would be exciting because it is so different, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not disappointed that Webb's not up there. It is what it is. I never even screw the Supercross hangover thing. He's just, I don't know. He's not once in the past 4 or 5 years has he been, up there. There's plenty of other guys that could be up there. Yeah. Marv's, he killed it last year. He could be up there.
To be honest, I expected kind of Roxon and Sexton to be a little flip-flopped,
Oh, for sure. Well, Sexton did say this weekend, he just admitted it. He said, I just sucked this weekend. He said he thought he started one of the motos in second gear, I think.
I don't know.
So, when he, I think, what was it? One of them, he just straight up said, that was his phrase. His exact quote was, I just sucked this weekend.
I guess if he says it, nobody else has to, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're just willing to say you sucked this weekend, then you just sucked this weekend. There's not much else to it. Let's see. Aaron AP obviously had a good weekend.
Dude, that was AP as always done decent, even on Factory Star, where everybody else has really faltered. AP still did pretty decent outdoors, man.
Oh he was never less than decent at all. It's just exciting to see him and Craig and Dylan, all three of the Yamaha guys are up there. Granted, they're all good
Oh yeah,
talent, right? But it's not like, oh, there's just one guy on the bike that knows how to ride it.
yeah.
Well, it's a good bike, good team. They got a solid roster, so that's exciting to see something like that instead of, well, you can't say we're only 4 motos in again. You can't really say that Ken and Chase are miles apart.
No, I
They're
can't
still
say
they're still
Chase is
five
miles
places
apart
apart
from
from each
anybody.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
So with it being only 4 in, you're Roger DeCoster. You got to put together the Moto Designations team right now. Who's your 450 guys? Keep in mind,
where is it
for
this year? I
USA.
don't remember.
I don't know. Wherever Team USA is going to spend a bunch of money to get their ass kicked, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
But
Is it even picked for 2021?
I don't even know if they're doing it this year, to be honest with you.
Apparently, they have it scheduled for Imola in Italy.
Huh. That's not a sand track, I don't think.
Isn't that where it was like 2 years ago?
I can't remember.
I don't know.
I remember Redbud and the MotoGP track with way too much sand on it. That's really all I remember.
Yeah, that's the one where I was thinking of, the one where it's a built track in a normal racing stadium. I don't know why the name. No, okay, this is not it at all. So if it's there, based right now?
Now remember, it's Team USA, and I'll even give you some alternates to fill Team Puerto Rico, dude.
September 25th. September. Right now, AP's going.
Oh yeah.
And then, do I do another 450 guy for the third? Right? Isn't that what you do? One 450, one 250, and then another guy for the.
Yeah, it's like 2 450s and 1 250, I think.
Yeah. AP.
And all the politics stuff aside, like Kawasaki saying none of our guys will ever run a Moto's Designations, like Chase. Yeah. I can't hate on that, dude. Chase is young and fast, man, and AP's got that. He's got that old man speed going right now.
I think Chase. I like Chase as an option because I'm not worried about his fitness.
Yeah.
And I think making him go overseas and potentially messing with his training schedule for a couple weeks, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I think that kid's just in shape. If I can keep him mentally focused and not making mental errors, I'm not worried about his fitness and that schedule messing with him at all. He's young. He can handle that.
What bike are you taking?
For that track? I don't have a preference. Not the Kawasaki. No. I don't. I think it could be like if they wanted to stick to one. If it had to be one or the other. If I wasn't sure exactly who was going to race, the big boy 450 class. That track. I don't know. The Honda. Kenny obviously makes the Honda work outdoors this year. I think that was kind of part of the hesitation this year going into it too. With the new bike. This is the first year they got that new bike outdoors. Spending time on it, would these guys be able to do well on it? They're clearly doing okay on it. So AP's not bad.
So you're taking the
AP,
Honda, dude?
AP's good on the Yamaha. I think it would be easier to make AP adjust to the Honda if he had to like ride one or the other than it would be to get Chase to get used to the Yamaha if he had to if he ended up riding that bike. But I'll admit I'm
Just
not
like
100% on the
experience, or
formatting rules. Well, yeah, because I think we've said it before that the Yamaha's the weird quote air quote weirdest
yeah,
of the 450s, and that it probably takes the most to get used to as far as a engine tuning
yeah,
feel, and then it might be easier on a track on tracks that are prepped like they usually are in Europe. That maybe it's easier for AP to say, "Well, here, ride a normal-ish 450," than it is to try
Normally, don't
to
try
try
to
to
ring in this pig,
yeah
dude.
yeah instead of trying to get Chase to be like, "Well, get used to the massive power hit that this thing has, and we'll try to figure out how to tune it around." You who
Yeah,
is clearly a little bit more
I can't disagree with that, man.
heavy-handed throttle.
Yeah, let's give you a milder motor with a more flexible frame versus a crazy motor with a little bit more rigid.
Yeah, but if
You
I
know,
thought that the Yamaha just had a distinct advantage out of any of the bikes that our guys would go with, and I was worried about that, I'd say let's send AP and Christian Craig.
yeah. I mean, it's really not a fair fight. Those dudes are still running like legit works bikes,
Mm-hmm.
and it's our legit work bikes here now are like Ryan Engineering triple trees and like a Works Chassis Labs engine mount. Watch
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
you know, we're
yeah,
bringing the heat. Old
bringing it.
Michael Lindsay sending us some parts. Get out of the way. You know,
Yeah, um, yeah. It's yeah, I don't know. While we're on the 450s, let's have a moment of silence for Zach Osborne. He's not winning the championship again this year.
no. I heard that his back has been flaring up though.
I mean, yeah, he was open. I guess the kicker there is like, what does flaring up really mean? Because I assumed that it was constantly bothering him, and this was just him. If he was going to do it, it was going to be him managing the pain this year.
Maybe
And
the pain's not getting manageable.
yeah, dude, I'm not a doctor by any means. I can barely put a band-aid on my finger. I don't I don't know shit about a bulging or herniated disc or if they're the same thing. But if he's dealing with one of those, it doesn't sound good. I don't want
Oh,
somebody talking about that while I'm eating dinner. I don't know how
you're
a
telling the
guy
wrong
can
guy,
ride
man. When it comes to
24
weird stuff, trust
motos
me.
with something that sounds like a bulging disc in your back,
Yeah.
you know. And we
Back
talked about
injuries
it
no
before
matter
the
what,
season,
aren't
like
I?
the things he admitted he can't do for training because it's uncomfortable. How is he going to ride 24 motos and beat himself up if he can't do specific things for training because it's uncomfortable? Even if he's just saving his energy, he's like, well, I'm not going to wear myself out doing training that's uncomfortable, but I've got the mental fortitude to go suck it up and bust ass for 24 motos. That's still,
And it's
you're
a
not
back injury
100%. Yeah.
on a motocross bike.
In
Does
outdoors
not
where it's
sound like
just,
fun. Yeah. Does not sound like fun to me.
I mean, I wouldn't blame him. I'd hate it that he couldn't defend the title, but I wouldn't blame him.
Yeah.
The last thing I would want any of these guys to do is go out there and bust their back so hard trying to defend a title for no reason and that they end up walking around, hunched over for the rest of their lives. It's not
Oh
worth
yeah.
it.
Or
That's
end
not
up
worth it.
like what's that? Jesse Nelson, I think,
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Yeah, you don't, yeah, wheelchairs, nothing, man. You don't, it's not worth it.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. Hope maybe he just had a really bad weekend and something gets figured out and he can come back hard. Did even Eli's interview after race interviews this weekend?
The swap one was a little weird.
He, there was a moment there where I thought he was just gonna walk off, but he just kept talking. Maybe he realized how like mean he sounded. or
Oh yeah.
frustrated. Maybe not necessarily like aggro mean, but just frustrated. And so,
I mean, he
man,
has every right to be frustrated though, and I can't
I would
imagine.
be pissed if he didn't seem frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Oh
if he was just like, it is what it is, then I'd be like, okay,
yeah.
fuck you too, buddy. But like I just, I mean, to your point, yeah, I guess if he didn't seem frustrated, I would be upset. So it's nice to see him frustrated, and that kind of is like, well, he obviously cares a little bit, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
Well,
damn, man,
plus you have to figure that team dynamic under that tent right now is probably a little weird because it has been confirmed without being confirmed officially that he's leaving anyway. So
yeah,
it has to be weird, man. It's almost, I don't know. It's like when somebody puts their 2 weeks in at work, you're like, I don't,
yeah.
like
There's definitely a chance
do
it could
whatever
be
you
weird.
can, you know,
Yeah.
but
Well, I think if it weren't for, I mean, it comes down to a lot of different things like management strategies and management tactics about how they want things to work there underneath that tent, how they're really running it. But I think the thing that keeps coming back to that everyone keeps, there's some people keep talking about and pointing at as a good point is he still gets paid money to win races. It's
yeah,
not like he just has to finish out the contract and he gets paid what he gets paid. Still has the opportunity to make a shit ton of money this summer.
yeah. But if you're not comfortable and the people around you aren't comfortable because there's this weird elephant hanging out in the room,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna win shit, dude.
Yeah. And then also at the same point in time, too, my devil's advocate to that argument that I don't really believe is just a thought is that he also has a shit ton of money. And maybe at the, like to your point, if he's not comfortable and he doesn't think he can win races anyways, I'm not going to risk myself to get hurt for money I might not win because I don't think I'm really there when I've got a shit ton of the money in the bank anyways.
Yeah,
So I don't know. You could go. I've had this argument with myself plenty of times ever since that Kawasaki announced that he's not coming back. I've had it even more since seeing his results the past four motos. You could go so many different ways with it, and I don't.
and that I have a hard time saying it's not. He might. I don't care. I don't care all the way up until he straps those goggles on over his eyeballs and
Mhm.
clicks that thing down into first gear. Man, he might say he doesn't care, but at the end of the day, that dude's a racer, man. He could be on a freaking pedal bike and somebody says ready, set, go, and he's gonna give it everything that he has. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like it's not. I can't. I can't get behind the whole he's just cruising around to cruise around argument. I think he's just having a shitty year from start to finish, man.
Yeah, I
And
don't think he's a guy that could handle internally, whether for public perception of your ego or just personal ego of knowing that you did what you did. I don't think he's the kind of guy that could handle himself at the end of September if he didn't think he really fucking tried.
yeah, no, I
Like
I,
you,
I can't buy that.
to your point, yeah, you don't end up being a professional like that
Yeah,
by just being like, oh, well, I don't care. I don't know.
yeah. That's quick shout out to Wayne. Wayne, why are you ready for next round? Smoker, awesome to hear that you got your certificate in the mail, man. Glad we got it all straightened out. But
Slip
it's
star.
right. What about some 250s?
250s. Let's see. Let's jump on these 250 overall results.
We went pretty hard in the paint on the old 450s, man.
It's always, sometimes when you're sitting there and you're watching some and you're like, yeah, there's some exciting racing. You're like, I'm, making
And
a
now
little bit
we're
of notes. And then all of a sudden you just start talking about it. And it's like, I forgot how
now we're
good it
40
is.
minutes into an hour and a half podcast, and we've only done like 33% of what we wanted to do.
Yeah. So the 250 overall results for the weekend were Mr. Justin Cooper with a 2-2. Jet Lawrence with a 4-1. Hunter Lawrence finishing off the Lawrence podium with a 5-3 because Moto scoring. And Joe Smoda in fourth place with a 6-4 on the weekend. And then Colt Nichols with a 9-5. Honorable mention because of Moto scoring and certain people falling out. Garrett Marchbanks with 7-7 for a sixth.
I liked his interview, though. Oh, speaking of interviews, did you catch the post-race press conference with Weege?
This one? No, I haven't had a chance. I didn't get a chance to watch that one
Go
yet.
back and look at it. About 30 minutes in, they get after Barsha about the old anal gear, dude. It is hilarious.
Did they bring it up in the press conference?
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
great.
I couldn't help it, man. But
I
can't remember who did the interview with Marchbanks. I think it was either Swap or Weege, but it was actually pretty good, man. Like, I know he did a superbly bonehead move in Supercross when he took out McAdoo, but I mean,
I watched the Marchbanks one that Swap did with him after the race, where he was talking about he was giving a lot of props to his team too.
Yeah,
they're coming out and they're putting it together. I don't know why when we started talking about him, for some reason Hampshire jumped into my brain. I was like, that is clearly not Marchbanks, but okay.
Same video though.
Yeah,
it was. I think he was right after Marchbanks actually, so maybe that's where the cross is coming from.
Who posts the
press conference?
The press conference for Outdoors.
I think it was on Racer X.
It's not on Racer X right now. Huh. I'll have to look into that.
I can go back and send it to you if I can find it. But yeah, it's pretty funny. And none of them knew if they could actually say anal on the MX Sports interview. Maybe that's what I was on, was Pro Motocross, their channel.
That's great.
But yeah, it was kind of funny because they're all like, are we allowed to say that word? Like, can we say it? And everybody's like, I don't know. And we just like, we probably shouldn't say it. Yeah, it was weird, you know. But Barsha was
American Motocross.
Time, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's nice to actually see Barsha not being a crybaby. Dude, like seeing him in like good spirits and stuff.
Oh yeah, he seemed hella happy. Yeah, seeing him and Mosman rowing down in the swap video when they were doing the interview at the end, that was just really cool.
Oh yeah, and then speaking of 250s, man, Alex Martin, he's out.
Broken arm. Let's pour one out right off the bat for the Martin brothers.
Dude, both of those teams took gambles and got hurt, dude. That's I didn't hear if J Mart's injuries are going to keep him out of next week. However, A Mart is for sure out. I mean,
J Mart's stuff is a little iffy. His first post made it sound like he's not coming back, but then I think I saw something else that made it seem like he was trying to come back. But then I heard somebody else. We'll find out.
I don't know either. Yeah,
we'll find out next week,
dude. 1 or 2 races in both seasons that these dudes are first signed to these teams and they get hurt with potentially season-ending injuries.
I think this is the worst case of just coincidental shit luck this sport has ever seen. 2 brothers out of the races
straight away,
same weekend.
Yeah, at least it's not on the same straightaway this season.
Oh man, if that happened again, where they got the same lane, that'd be a hair too much. That's going to be nuts. Also on the overall results, Dylan Swartz with a 9th overall with an 8/12. So is Bar-X technically a privateer team, or are they a factory supported Suzuki team? I don't know.
They were a little bit supported, but I'm pretty sure Suzuki has pulled all their stuff, and I think isn't Bar X is the one that Entignat put like all his pro winnings into.
Oh, I didn't know that.
One of the riders bought like a big stake in the team, and I can't remember one of the Suzuki teams, and I can't remember if it was that one or the Twisted Tea one.
Well, if Internet rides for HEP, so maybe
Yeah,
it was HEP that he put it into.
but Bar X is another one like that where it's somebody just is stroking checks on the backside, dude. I don't
I
think
did a
they
little
are
bit of
factory
research for him
supported.
last night when I was making a note of that and trying to think about which one it was. I would
What?
lean towards them being privateer than factory supported because it's not like
Yeah.
it's no one's ever said factory Suzuki team when they're talking about RX.
No, it's always just Bar X.
Yeah.
And then there's
It's,
Bar X on one of the only Suzukis is usually what they say.
yeah.
But
So I don't if they're factory supported, it's definitely not anything like RM KTM is. That's for sure.
no.
So
And I really don't think they have. I think they got factory support from JGR kind of kicking stuff down to them.
mhm.
I think that was the extent of their factory support before. I'm not 100% positive, but I am 85% positive that they are not factory supported right now.
Yeah. So long story short, long way around that was congratulations to potentially the highest privateer placing rider or privateer team. There's a
Oh,
difference
yeah.
between a privateer team and a privateer, but he was by far the highest placing privateer type rider in the 250 class this weekend. That was pretty exciting, and on a Suzuki nonetheless.
Oh, yeah. Those
Um,
Suzuki's outdoors aren't bad, man. They have
yeah,
just
no,
as much power as everything else.
yeah, even in the 450s, they were killing it last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Freddie
Speaking
and
of the
Max.
speaking of Max, man, did you catch the Weege post race where he was the co-host?
I didn't get to. No, I didn't get to watch that one yet.
Man, you got to watch that. If you're not a Max fan and you watch that, you'll have a little love for Max by the end of it. I know you're pretty well on your way to being a Max fan, but I'm saying for like our listeners is
Yeah.
catch the Weege, the greatest after race show or something like that he posted up like today or yesterday. But him and
Oh,
Max are
the
having a
best
good
post
time.
race show ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jalik Swole getting after freaking Mathis, man. Like on the camera, just getting after him, dude. It's pretty good.
Oh,
You
well,
got to
I
catch
heard
it.
on the pod on Math's pod interviews that he does. He was giving him some shit, telling him like, man, you know, don't ever give me credit, you know,
Oh yeah.
like don't give me
Oh,
the
dude,
props for the
he got him.
results.
He got him good though. He's like, you're always leaving me on red on Instagram and stuff
Yep,
like that. Like, dude, Jalik was getting after him, man.
it was
But
pretty
it's
funny. I think I heard
oh
him
yeah.
drop the F-bomb one time too, and I was like, your mom's gonna beat your ass.
Oh well, he asked Weege. He's like, Weege, can you edit this? And he's like, I don't know. Can we edit this? Like, are you good enough to edit? And he's like, I don't know, too late. And then he just goes in on Mathis, dude. That kid's
Good
got some
Lord.
character, man. I like him.
Yeah,
Him and
that's
Max
great.
together, though, they were. Oh man, that was a good show,
I'll
dude.
have to
That's
watch that one. I almost watched it, but it was 20 minutes long, and I had some other ones to watch in between when I could at work.
guy. You should have watched that one instead of the others, dude.
I probably well now I wish I would have. The
Oh
humor is
yeah,
always better.
yeah.
Um,
That's what else happened in 250s? Oh, Jerry Robin, he's out potentially for the season. That was a pretty nasty wreck, man.
it didn't look good, but I saw plenty of A-Ray was posting stories with him on
Yeah.
Instagram today. We just walking around semi normal. I mean, granted, you can't tell much from a 5 second clip, but after that, you know, I was expecting him to be like posted up on a couch, not moving.
Well, he didn't say that it was necessarily the get off. It was he rang his bell like very, very good, like knocked out for like almost he was knocked out all the way until Alpine Star medics got there,
Oh,
or
really?
the Asterix medics got there,
Yeah.
Asterix, whatever the hell they call
Asterisk.
themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and that's why he got that big burn all the way across his like his arm and like part of his back. Because, I mean, if you saw the video, you saw that the silencer was laying on his back and the header was on his arm. So
Yeah. I don't know how you get unlucky like that. Get your
yeah,
bike
and when you're
hanging on your
knocked
back
out, it's not like you can just bail
twice in a
out,
month.
you know? Oh yeah.
The one thing you never expect to happen is your bike land on you twice in 1 month and get 2 sets of burns on your back, you know.
Oh
But
yeah.
for Jerry Robin, I guess, poor guy.
And I can imagine this one's probably worse because he was out cold for so long, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and it just sat there and we all know how riding gear is. Like, let's make the most meshy polyester that we can. You know?
Yeah, they weren't riding thick winter gear.
No. So I can't imagine that it would be a nice burn, you know. And then I can't remember. Somebody else said somebody got hurt, and I can't remember who it is.
Who
Who was it? Was
had
it Phil?
Oh, well, we
Phil?
were talking about Phil and his shoulder, but he sounds like he's coming back.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying that these guys aren't coming back. Jerry Robin will probably be
Oh, no,
back
I was
by
just
the
saying, I
end too.
know we were talking earlier about not being sure if Phil was coming back or not. He
Yeah.
put up a post, and I'm pretty sure he's coming back. He made it
Yeah.
sound like he's like, we got 20 more to go.
Yeah. And that, dude, it's
I
hard
was
to
worried
say
he
with
wasn't
him
coming
though,
back.
because he's the most negative, positive person ever, dude. Like his verbiage is always very negative, but like his personality usually seems very positive. Like he will tear you down while building you up at the same time, which is kind of weird. Like if you understand what I mean.
Yeah. See, there's some guys did not finish. Looks like Jesse Flock might not have done too well. He finished 39th in Moto 2. Maybe he went down. I don't
They
remember.
said Phil tangled with somebody.
Oh, in 450s?
Yeah.
It was, off the start.
Yeah.
Smith?
That's it. Yeah, Jordan Smith.
Jeremy Smith.
Jeremy Smith. Yeah. There's too many Smiths. Come up
Jay
with a
Smith.
nickname.
Jay
Yeah.
Smith. Jay Smith, Jay Smith, Jay Smith. Yeah. Let's see. Get that. 250s, man. 250s was
It's kind of boring.
the first second were boring, but I mean, there was still, it was good watching some of these other guys put in rides. I know you're a big
Yeah.
fan of everybody being out there on the track at the same time, and I don't know who isn't. And it's just
Feld.
exciting to see all of them, getting to race each other again. Watching, I don't like shitting on people too hard, but it's kind of exciting watching Fortner not put it together. Just like, fuck, man, I'm tired of that guy.
He hasn't raced outdoors in forever. Like pretty much since he moved up to the pro ranks. I don't think he's really raced in outdoors.
Well, yeah, it's been two years, and like I know, man, I don't know. I think it's like JT put it. You're on a team like that. If you got something you're worried about, your fitness or something,
you have the tools there to fix it.
Yeah, you just say it.
Yeah.
And whatever you need to fix it is going to happen. And I don't know. And I know I'm probably not justified in it, and I'm being probably unfair against him, but I don't know. I guess it's that kind of difference between just his personality as a young guy and having results like that, and then even with Eli, you see his results, but then you see him just be clearly frustrated about it. Whereas Fortner, like his frustration would probably be like, and you go like whine about it. And I don't know.
There's a big difference between Tomac and Fortner, though.
Even Fortner's interview that they keep playing all weekend long, that you see, if you watch the qualifying and then watch the races, you see his interview probably 800 times over the course of it. And even his attitude about like, oh, obviously my goal is to win the championship, but then like there's a lot of ways you could say I want to win the championship, but we have building blocks to get there because it's my first, and just the way he delivered that message, I just
Getting to you, huh?
yeah, man, I don't. So many
Is that
different
going to
ways
be
you
the
could say
new?
it.
That's going to be the new Rick roll for Tiller. You just keep sending him that interview.
No, no, please don't, please don't. I just can't. I can't handle it. It was too much. It's just because it's keep playing it over and over again. I'd almost rather the Mount Rushmore's over and over again instead of that interview.
Oh yeah,
Um, I don't know. But I still think I wouldn't be pissed if it turned into Lawrence Brothers and Cooper on the podium every weekend
yeah,
because I want to see a good battle between Cooper and either of the Lawrence brothers, but then also because I would love to see Hunter finish a full season and finish at least on the podium. Granted, I wish any of the other guys could get on the podium too. I'd love to see Colt finish on the podium. I'd love to see Joe finish on the podium, right? But I just want to see Hunter finish the season and finish on the podium because I want to see him earn all of the talk that everyone had about building up about him.
yeah.
And to be able to come out, put a season together and be like, look, it wasn't just bullshit. I did great in Supercross, finished the whole season, and I did great in motocross. Yes, maybe I wasn't as fast as Jet, but like, look, I did it. Because
Jet's
I was
gonna
one of
have
those
to be
guys that was
careful
like,
though.
Hunter, okay, cool. Like I've heard
Yeah,
about him, and like I know he had some good races and he was really good in Europe, but like, I don't know, you're only as good as
my
your
thing
last
is
race.
Jet's gonna have to be careful, man. That
Mm-hmm.
dude has more grudges than a teenage girl, dude. Like he's just
Well,
sitting there holding everything, like him tapping Coop's front wheel and stuff like that, man. Like you're gonna end up biting off more than what you can handle, especially you get Coop, Moseman. I feel like half the field has a problem with Jet.
oh,
Just
they do.
yeah,
Because just deep down inside, they're all like, why are we talking about this kid all the time?
dude. I was just getting ready to ask you that. How long does Jet stay as the fan favorite? Because they are giving him so much. You
I
know,
think
I
if
mean,
he
look at
continues to put
Reed,
out,
Stewart, Carmichael. They all went from, oh, they're awesome to fuck these guys. And then when they go to retire or something like that, it's like, oh, these guys were the best, you
yeah,
know. But there for a while, a lot of people hated them, man. Because A, they're good, Jet's good,
yeah,
and B, everything was about those dudes all the time, just force fed all the time.
it's going to be different because of how social media is now and how they can use it differently. Whereas I think part of it was kind of when during those times you never got to see them putting stuff out all the time. Like, Stu never got to get on Instagram and interact, with a certain set of fans his way. And so everything was kind of how everybody else made it go. And I'm
Yeah,
not saying that's going to definitely have something to do with it, but I think it had something to do with it for him. Granted, they should have kind of controlled a little bit better, but so there was some of that. I think it's going to change at least how they can control a certain part of their fan base. I think there's going to be waves for sure, especially if Jet can't
yeah.
ends
But
up
how
not being
many?
able to continually put it together for
Yeah,
years. Um,
how many
he's going to
people
have
on
to.
his Instagram actually watch the races every weekend, though? Too, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like that's going to be a. I mean, you're talking a very, very small percentage of overlap in between those two platforms, man.
Well, that and then the age groups of people that watch the races all the time. The younger
Yeah,
people are obviously going to be a little bit more lean towards the younger guy that they can closer relate to. But
yeah.
even guys our age, and then maybe some older guys. I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know. maybe a guy like, Wayne, who's seen a lot more races live than we have, maybe he might have some respect for Jet's like skill, but maybe he's, one of the guys or somebody like that. It's like, oh yeah, he's clearly got skill, but like, fuck that
Like
guy. I'm
Reed
not saying that's what
versus
I'm definitely not saying that's what Wayne said. I did not,
yeah,
but just saying, some older people are just like, I don't know, I don't care for the kid because they think he's cocky and
like
annoying.
like when Reed came in, man, and it was like him versus like Stu or him versus RC or where the younger generation really liked him, but the older guys that were already used to like the Stu and the Carmichaels and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, they were like, dude, this guy sucks. Not skills wise, but just in general. Just a general sucks,
Yeah.
Like so and it's like I can't blame Smoker, man. Like I said it even in Supercross. Like I'm already tired of hearing about this kid. Like we know he's good. Back it up, dude.
Oh, I
Like,
mean, I said it immediately after that first podium interview where I
oh
said,
yeah.
I can't sign up for 12 more years of barking like a dog on the podium.
Oh yeah. Dude, you
If
should
this,
have
if
heard
he grows
Indy
up
though.
really quick, and can turn into more of like a hunter personality over the next 3 years where he just
That's
chills
not
it out,
happening. That's not
I could,
happening.
I could kind of be there for it, because I think Hunter's the good balance. Like, clearly
Yeah.
he can have fun with his brother,
They're 100% yin and yang, dude.
but
Like,
he's so much more chill.
yeah.
And I think he's going to be a much more mellow, but then that's just my personality too, And so I think that's the thing. I think you and our personalities are not the Jet kind of personalities,
No.
period.
He
And
he is bringing some flavor back into the sport though.
I
You
just
know,
don't want to see, I don't want to see a show
you
like,
don't want to see a J-Law show.
no, not like they did with Stewart, man. No, I
Yeah.
mean, some of it was kind of cool. And then after a while, that kid in his ego can't handle, or just a kid that age can't handle the kind of stuff that they gave Stu back then. That's why,
That's why Stu's gone.
yeah. And Stu, that's why he's gone. That's why he got, almost put in jail for impersonating a cop.
Yeah.
As soon as that happened, man, I was over him.
Yeah.
I don't, I don't, I don't care, And so, and we all know Big James isn't a pushover, right?
No.
And when things like that happen, and you just start to lose them, and they're going out there, I don't know. I hope that Jet's family and parents and stuff don't let him turn into just a crazy person. But man, I can't wait for them to tone him down.
Well, the worst part is
I don't
there's
want to
not
ruin his personality necessarily, but I just can't handle it.
it's not like even a couple years past where you could disappear up to Temecula or Ocotillo Wells in between the race weekends, or you could just go to like a small town and just hang out and have a beer or something like that. I mean, social media keeps these guys on point 24/7. And if it's not their social media, it's somebody else's. You act like
Mm-hmm.
somebody's not going to recognize those kids, especially around the area that they're living now,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, that's just
And
like
so
the kind
it's,
of activities they get into. But
yeah.
then I think it all because of social media and stuff like that, then it does a different thing to their egos.
Well, that and one screw up is worth a million of them maybe 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
no more rental car antics. There's no more, like, you can't just go free ride anymore because otherwise your sponsors and shit will find out. Like, you can't, like, there's no off switch anymore, man. And I feel like it's going to go two ways. You're either going to end up like an Eli or you're going to end up where your personality runs you out. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to see Jet get ran out, but I also don't want to see him become an Eli. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think AP is a good mixture of both, where his private life is still private, but he's still a goofball in front of the camera, but like a wholesome style goofball. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where I think Jet is still trying to find himself, but I don't think that the moto media is helping him out in any way. They're just keep putting more and more pedestals under him, man.
Yeah.
And
Even as
eventually
small
they're
as
gonna
we are,
fall. Yeah.
or as small as the moto media is, it is as small as we are as a sport and stuff. Yeah, they're still not going to not use him to better the sport or better their own things, because if they don't, somebody will, so
Oh yeah.
it's a matter of just kind of biting the bullet and doing it. But yeah, it's he's going to have to figure out really quick his own thing to, because if it turns into like Myrtle or his parents trying to control him to keep his personality under control, so he like doesn't do something stupid or just doesn't get annoying or wear himself out or whatever reason, the sooner he can figure it out himself and really come to terms with it and learn to control it, then I think that's going to be the perfect mixture for him. Because if he gets to the point where he's like, oh God, I'm tired of you guys controlling me,
Yeah.
or everybody telling me what I got to be for the camera because like all this weight's on my shoulder just to grow the sport and shit, he's going to blow up.
Oh yeah. And it'll become another J Law incident where
Mm-hmm.
the camera, he's just a super introverted kid that had a little bit of issues, like the class clown in front of the camera, and then all of a sudden now he's a class clown all the time, and now he's doing more and more outrageous stuff to try to stay in the spotlight, and then it becomes like he should have his own episode of TMZ,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, I just don't want to see him get eat up, man. I think he's got way too much talent for that, and it could happen, and I don't want
I
to see
think
it.
the biggest thing to worry about for him is I think he's got a good group of people around him that can help him control his personality type related stuff. What I'm
Yeah.
worried about is him not being able to control his own control himself when he's riding, and that he's going to end up getting hurt, and that really just digging a hole in his confidence that you can't
Or
fix.
really hurt somebody else, because
Mm,
I
yeah,
mean, it's
yeah,
pretty apparent that he does care about his competitors, man. Like he
hmm
goes out of his way to talk to a lot of people except for Mosiman. And I think that if he did like accidentally really hurt somebody, I think that would take the wind out of his sails also. That's just me going out on a limb, just from what I've seen and heard other people that are around talk about, like with him in general.
Well, I
Like,
mean that's a real thing. I mean think about um, even Atlanta this year for McAdoo. I'm
yeah,
sure regardless of how intentional or like whether or not the argument about him being able to be out there or not, you take away all that incident happens the same again with him and oh holy cow,
Marchbanks.
no, um when
Pierce
the
Brown when he
no the
stepped on
landing
him.
incident, um
There
who
was
was
so
it that
many
got airlifted?
incidents, bro.
Who got airlifted out
I can't remember. There was a lot of
on
incidences that weekend.
the oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm blanking on that.
I'm blanking too, man.
The AJE team.
Now I'm drawing a blank with rider names,
Holy
dude.
cow.
You put me on the
Oh,
spot.
I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I don't remember this. But anyways, so that rider he had the incident. The rider
Yeah.
got hurt and had to get airlifted out of there, right? That played McAdoo. McAdoo did not take that lightly. He's not a dick,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, exactly. So the same thing to Jet and a guy that's even more bubbly than McAdoo to Jet. They can't afford for that to happen to Jet because
Los.
then all of a sudden, yeah, blows.
Yep.
Close.
Shit. How did I forget that, man? We were
Dude,
talking about that for like 3 days.
we both did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even the same thing happens to Jet, and then all of a sudden, like Jet could turn into the real bad guy.
Yeah.
Say none of them were ever that bad, but say him and Mosman were getting into it, and then
Yeah.
Mosman got real hurt all of a sudden. Jet's not going to be so fun anymore.
No.
I'm not saying that Jet's like an evil guy or anything by that means, but to your point, just all it takes is one bad mistake and you got to deal with a whole different situation, right? And
Yeah.
so back to my point, if he can't control his riding stuff, then that's going to be what he's got to deal with. I think he's got the group of people around him to deal with his personality and whatnot, and they've got a plan there. Hopefully, it doesn't burn him out, and that's something they're just going to have to monitor month by month. Is whatever this plan they've got to use him and his brother to grow our sport. Yeah, I don't know. Like when you were talking about all the things they used to do and stuff, I was just imagining. I was like, yeah, poor old Jet's not going to get to go out and have dates stuff when he's 18 because he's just going to be on social media everywhere.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All
It's got
the
to make it weird. I've never been that popular. Even at the height of my popularity, I think like 4 people knew who I was.
height.
So it's I cannot relate to that at all. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, it's a little bit different. Like within the racing community, like I can show up to a track and like run into people that I know and stuff like that. But that's different, man. Like it's not like if I would show up to a track and everybody knows who I am. You know, like so it even like what was it last winter? I went to the AIM show in Columbus, and Carrie Hart was there, man. Almost nobody recognized Carrie Hart. Me and my brother were like, oh shit, that's Carrie Hart, dude.
And he's one of the most recognizable guys.
Oh yeah. And we went up and like we're talking to him and like got our pictures and stuff. And as soon as the picture got taken, man, everybody showed up. And I doubt like half the people knew who it was, you know, but they were just, oh, there's people getting their pictures taken with that guy. Let's go get our picture taken. But like
tattoos.
Yeah, like we were standing just like right next to him, and then we went to the bathroom at the same time, and I was like to my brother, like, bro, I'm pretty sure that's Carrie Hart, man. like I'm like 90% certain. And then of course, like, yeah, and then I get all fanboyish, you know, because that's Carrie Hart was a big deal when I was a kid, man. You know, so
he still is.
Yeah, but it's like going out to if you know. Going out to places like that, like I don't know what it's like, so I can't like have any type of empathy for those kind of people, you know, but I can't imagine it would be nice just to like if he wants to go show up to like an amateur race at I don't know, anywhere out there, you know, like Glen Helen or Pala or anything like that. Like he can't just go. You know what I mean? Like he can't just show up places without people recognizing him probably. And that's got to suck, dude. Like you can never just not be you if that's the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And yeah, they're going to keep playing it up and it's not going to get any easier for him, you know, especially where they live out there, you know, it's moto-centric, everything. I don't know. And it's, you know, it's even thinking about, I know they run short on things to talk about on the broadcast, but each weekend already 2 weekends in, they're still talking about the donut dog shit from last year.
Yeah. Who cares? You know?
Yeah.
Give the fucking dog a donut and let's just be over it, dude. Like, let's move on.
Yeah. It's not making Jay Coop look any better, you know, and it's just amplifying Jet.
Yeah.
I don't know. The sport's got a long way to go how they figured that stuff out. But I do hope I want to see both. I want to see Hunter finish more than I do Jet because Jet can get away with a season with an injury. I personally just want to see, or maybe not an injury. Maybe his bike blows up 3 times. I don't want to talk about him getting hurt, but maybe his bike blows up 3 times. He doesn't finish in the podium in the top 30. I think Hunter needs a full season finish more.
Yeah. Well, if we get a mutter, you know all the Hondas are going to blow up because they have one of the shittiest cooling systems in the world on them. So you could get your wish, man.
A bunch of fairies just blowing fans in the radiator.
Pretty much, yeah.
Magic Fairy does cooling system.
They just don't, for whatever reason, they just don't handle like the oversized radiators as well. They lose, like you put oversized radiators on them and it's almost like they lose a bunch of pressure through the system. We could get into all the technical stuff later, but yeah, it's I don't know. Other than that, I don't have
Just
much
don't.
else to add, man.
I don't know. I don't know how I want to see how I want to see it play out.
I want to see a Yamaha win the manufacturer's titles for both 250s and 450s. That's all I care about. And like,
well, they've got the best chance.
well, yeah, they only have like half the field in 250s, but
Yeah.
that's if it was up to me with motocross designations, I'd just be like, Star, take all your guys, go. It'd be like, well, Ferrandis is French, and you'd be like, yeah, but he's not going to ride for France because they have way better guys suited for that track. Just go with Yamaha, bro. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Same colored flags, just oriented a little different. You'll be all
That would
right.
eliminate the whole team arguments about like everybody not being able to talk. You
Yeah.
know, like, oh, just
Yeah.
pick everybody from the same team, and that eliminates half of our battle.
Yeah. Then Kawasaki can quit being a bunch of little girls, dude. Like, just get your fucking LCQ bikes over there, dude. Go.
Just figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out. I mean, actually looking at it again, only 4 motos in, but the
Learn a
top
lot in
6
four motos.
championship standings: Jet Lawrence, Justin Cooper, Jeremy Martin's not going to be there. That's why I did 6, because Jeremy Martin's probably not going to be in the top 5 for much longer. Hunter Lawrence, Garrett Marchbanks, and RJ Hampshire. It's nice to see RJ back, potentially the top 5 range. I mean, we already are to the point where 6th is already 50 points behind first place, because 1st and 2nd are just hella consistent.
Yeah. But it's did you hear Shimoda's interview though? Where they're like, what happened the first week? And he's like, I just rode bad. I don't know. I overthought it. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
He's
like
so
that
chilled the way he talks about it. Like, I think even Mitch even said, he straight up said, yeah, he just came back and sincerely apologized for, like, I started in 2nd. I'm sorry. I screwed it up.
Yeah. Dude, you got me turned on to that DMXS podcast, man. And his interview on that, I listened to it coming back from the late model race on Saturday night.
That was a good one, wasn't it?
Dude, I learned, it was hard for me to gain more respect for the kid, and listening to that interview, it happened. Like,
yeah, I think I said the same thing after I listened to it. I was like, I already liked him, but after listening to that interview, I'm on board.
Yeah, because like I was there live when he was like, I did not deserve this podium.
Yeah,
and everybody was like, bullshit. Like 3/4 of the thing of getting up there is the guy in front of you having bad luck, and you having good luck. But it's like I respected him a lot that night, and then just watching him through the course of Supercross just kind of bloom into what he is, and then going back and listening to that interview and hearing him this weekend and stuff, I'm like, dude, that's a humble kid that is not afraid to fight for what he wants, though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, you give him 2 more good weekends with good starts.
Oh yeah,
fight for top three championship this year.
I could see it.
That would be exciting.
Oh yeah,
got to fix the bad weekends, but yeah, because I mean everybody else could have some bad weekends. I don't know. I like it. I do want to see Hunter finish on the podium, but if it ends up being just Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, and Justin Cooper on the podium every weekend, I'm gonna have to write some letters to NBC to fix the broadcast. And be like, the second you see all 3 of them in the podium contention, camera goes to somebody else.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I was getting at with the whole grudges with Jet, man. Like, Cooper owes him at least a little smack,
Mm-hmm.
So I the only reason Cooper didn't go down is because he was in good shape and had fast reflexes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jet straight up tried to take his front wheel out, dude. So that's do we see something in the future? It's never when people want it to happen, if the guy is cool, still wants paybacks, but is cool, he'll drop you at the beginning of the race,
Yeah,
like the
like
first
most men
turn.
did.
Yeah, like the first turn. But I Cooper's fast enough; he don't have to worry about that.
I
You know?
wonder about Jakub's personality, if he can control that well, or if if he's just kind of can hold the grudge against Jet just enough to say, I'm just going to let him take himself out.
I don't know.
Or maybe he holds on to that too long. He's like, oh shit, Jet's running away with this. He's gotten a couple more wins on me and he's getting the points. I'm going to have to get proactive about taking him out one race.
Well, the thing
Then
is you
that's where it
can't let
gets a
it.
little
He
dicey
only got
because
maybe two races to make it happen, man. Anything after that, now it's new. You
yeah.
know, at least that's the way I've always looked at it.
Well,
Like
yeah,
if
you can't be like Moseman and Jet where they started it based on a whole 6 months ago and then it went into 3 races, where they took
yeah,
each other out over something that happened last year.
yeah, nobody gives a shit. Put your big girl pants on. Let's go.
Yeah, move on
You
to it.
know, but Cooper's also it, he should probably be on a 450. So he's got that maturity where I think he knows when and where a lot better than some of the other folks that are racing on the 250s. I mean, he's no Martin Brothers where like they raced everybody in the top 5 of 450s and 250s like a decade
Mm-hmm.
ago, but he's not far behind those two either. I think
No,
he's only like a year or two behind them.
not too
But
far.
yeah, other than that, you got anything else for the 250s, or you want to jump into some GNCC and then close it out?
250s. I think we touched on it. RJ did really good this weekend. It's unfortunate that he didn't keep it together to end up in the top after the second moto. I was excited to see Colt do better this weekend than he did last. So not worried about him being a 10-10 every weekend.
He's too hot and cold for me to get behind, man.
I just maybe give me. I want to see what he does next weekend or next race weekend at High Point to see if he can do something different on the different style tracks more on the eastern side.
Yeah.
And see if maybe he had the 250 Supercross hangover. I don't know.
I was going to try to sneak away and get to High Point this weekend, man, but I'm going to race this weekend. So
Well, it's next weekend.
Or yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh, you got races both weekends?
Yeah. I'm already. I wish I could, man.
Get back into it.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes racing yourself is better than watching racing, so.
Oh, the generator will be running in the trailer with the laptop streaming it anyway. So
yeah, that's the way to do it.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think so did that. Moseman wasn't pumped on his ride. He could have done better. I don't know about Volan. We'll see what he does next race weekend.
He's a kid, man.
Like, I know, but
just as long as
it was just
finishes the race in the top 15. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's where we started with, right? It's like it's kind of expected, but
he set the bar kind of high.
He did. He really set the bar kind of high.
That kid can start, dude. He might be one of the best starters I've seen in a long time.
Oh, speaking of starts, we didn't talk about Webb with that whole shot in 450 Moto 2.
Yeah, but how long did it last? Like the next turn?
Yeah. So I'm not
a whole
saying
shot's a whole shot.
I'm not saying the saviors arrived, but he got the whole shot, so that was something, right? So he's still, and he was still running up there, and then he faded. So I don't know, maybe that was just a shine on the way up. Maybe that 450 Supercross hangover is a little bit heavier, and he's just got to figure it out. I'd rather see that than him start in 10th place.
Yeah, and I'm sure he does too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Roger would love to see that.
Oh yeah, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's about it.
Cool. You want to do some GNCC stuff that you don't really know anything about?
GNCC.
Right. Let's start it off with the Saturday show on the ATVs, man. So they're racing in Mason-Dixon. Fun thing about this track, half of the track is in Pennsylvania, half of it's in West Virginia, dude.
Are there any fun laws that you can break in West Virginia that you can't break in or one or the other? So you could get drunk while you're racing while you're in West Virginia, but then when you cross over to the Pennsylvania track, you can't be drinking while you're racing.
I don't think so. I'm sure
Mm.
there's some jokes that I could come up with real quick, but besides the couple of cuss words, I'm still trying to keep it fairly PG, you know? So we'll
Fair
we'll
enough.
do those. We'll do those in the Discord where
Yeah.
there are 0 rules. So let's see. ATV Saturday race pro overall. We had Walker Fowler, Hunter Hart. Hunter Hart is that kid's good, man. You have to watch one of these races with me sometime, man. So Hunter Hart is a real young kid that's coming up, and I want to say this is his first year of being a pro, and he was giving Fowler hell, dude. I love to see it. We got the sneaky snake, Jared McClure, who
Sneaky Snake.
Yeah, snuck
Is
up.
that his actual nickname, or did you just give him that right now?
No, that's his actual nickname, dude.
Oh my
Jared,
God, I'm becoming a bigger GNCC fan by the minute.
Right? And then he actually did sneak like up into third place, dude. Like last second, 0.721 difference in between him and McGill because he snuck it in literally in the last 2 laps. 11-mile course, and he made the third place pass the last lap with like 2 turns to go.
That's epic.
Oh, yeah. And then in fourth place, we have the Gator, Adam McGill. And
nicknames are killer.
Right? Dude, they have awesome nicknames, man. And in fifth place, we have John Glotta Jr. Haven't seen a lot out of Glotta this year. He's still fast. Obviously, you can still put it in the top 5. And then for Sunday's race, we had the bikes, pro bikes. We got Stu Baylor, old Ben Kelly coming in second, Jordan Ashburn coming in third, Josh Strang bringing home your 4th place finish, and I can't remember Toth's first name. It starts with a J. J. Space Toth came in 5th place. I can't remember what it is, man. I know most of these guys' names, and of course, I can remember them when I'm not doing a show, but as soon as I have to purposely remember the names, I forget them, dude.
Well, it's telling you J. Space, so
yeah,
it's hard. You're not having to remember it. You're trying to.
Well, no, they post up their. So GNCC posts all the results with the first name, last name, where they're from, and what class they're running. And I just completely forgot what his first name was. But as soon as I hit end stream, I'll remember it.
Gosh.
But other than that, we got the old Sunstar drive of the race. Snuck this one in. This is actually why
back to motocross.
Yeah, this is actually why we were like a minute late, is because we were trying to math 4 different motos in about 3 seconds. Well, not we. I was just typing. Tiller was trying to do
while I was trying to do visual math really fast.
Right. So we have in the 250s, we have the old Garrett Marchbanks with a plus 13. 13 passes in one race is pretty good. And then we have Falk.
Also.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, at least. That's just from first lap to last lap. First counted lap to last lap. And then we have Falk in the 450s with another plus 13. And now this is the fun one. Are you ready? Bro Taco soused it. So I say Amart did, man. That was a weird wreck coming up over that. I don't know what happened. But he soused it. Probably
I thought about
for
it
the rest of the year.
But I wasn't sure if that qualified because it was still qualifying.
It's in the name, bud. It's qualified because he's qualifying.
Right? Yeah. And then, too, I also didn't know if I wanted to pick those because they're not coming back. I just wasn't sure. I don't blame you for doing it. I couldn't commit. I was hoping there was going to be something a little bit more like epic too. And then the one
AC didn't wreck, so I don't know who else to pick.
well, his wreck in the second moto wasn't that great. The bike just slid out.
Yeah,
He picked it right back up and got back on.
yeah, and he still finished in the top 5 overall. So
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. It's not like he was leading and just completely like dropped the bike. So,
but mine was definitely old Justin Barsha. I don't even know when this was, and they didn't catch it on camera. But if you get a chance, he had a wreck. It's on the Team Fried Instagram. It's funny because the whole comment section is fantastic.
oh yeah,
Pretty sure I shared it in the Discord, so you can check it out there. But he had one wreck where he was going, and I don't even know how to describe it. The bike just kind of launched him over, and he almost pulled a McAdoo where he was still holding onto the handlebars. He flung around, landed on his feet, and then ended up still just standing. Like, he never technically really hit the ground. His bike flung him around, hit his feet, and then he ended up just standing up like it was a practice move.
Where he's like, "What just happened?"
Yeah, exactly. When he ended up standing up, he was just kind of like, "Huh, okay, cool, good deal."
Yeah.
And then he just
We'll go with it.
yeah, it's so good. So
I didn't
good.
catch that one. I'll have to go back through the Discord and look.
I don't know if I can, actually, I might not have posted the link. And I just posted a photo of it in the comment section, but right now I'm posting the link to it if I can hit the right buttons in the Discord. There it is. When you get a chance,
Oh,
check it
I
out.
just got
It's
the
hilarious.
old beep, dude. So it must be posted. Let me see if I can pull it up, dude.
Oh, you might be able to pull it up on the stream.
Let me see. Button clickies, screen share, window, media drop from the old Discord. Share. Is it working?
We're seeing it, yep. And then click. It's still just
it.
showing Discord.
Oh, it hasn't come up yet. There it goes. Is it coming up now?
No, because it's just showing the Discord window and not your actual screen.
All right. So before I hit play, so this is what Discord looks like, everybody. Yay. This is why it takes us so long to do stuff, because I am technically
Can you see
not
mine?
very good. Let me see. Here we go. Team Fried. Bam. All right.
There
we up?
Yep.
So this is from teamfried.co. Says original audio, teamfried.co. Ayo. Nice save at Justin Barsha at Pro Motocross. We're going to watch this thing real quick.
He's going. Bike says, what?
Whoop.
Floop.
That's great, dude. Oh my gosh. I got to watch it again.
It doesn't look like he ever his bright boot might have hit the ground, but I don't think
he kind of dubbed a little bit too hard.
Yeah.
That last part, dude, the last part is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and even when he's coming back around, his boots still just land on top of the bike, so he never really hits the ground until his feet slide off the bike
that
again.
Little slow motion, like, boop. And of course, the Team Fried guys throwing up some crazy music to go along with it. Yeah. And we probably got kicked off of YouTube for doing that because whatever.
They don't know.
Yeah. Shit'll be all right. And let's be honest, none of those nerds are watching an hour and a half of this show to figure out that we posted something from Instagram on our live video.
Yeah. Then all the comments about his epic gear from this weekend are fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Too. The fact that he owned it too was so good.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to go watch that press conference.
What was it? In the press conference, without giving the total spoiler, he said something like, of course, the Team Fried guys caught on to it, tagged me in the post, and then, like, it grew from there. He goes, and then I got a call from Troy Lead Designs, the design team, and they said they absolutely did not mean to do that. He's like, but with all the hype it created, we might as well come up with fancy clothes or fancy gear like that all the time now. And of course, it was in like Barsha fashion where he's talking about a bunch of other stuff too. But it was great, dude. You should definitely check it out.
I'll check that out. Yeah, I could maybe believe, sure, the design team's like, yeah, we didn't mean it. Somebody there saw it.
Well, the worst part is it's not just that colorway either. It's in like 3 or 4 different colors across that whole gear line.
Yeah, somebody, because I saw the mountain bike vital post too. And there's no way somebody in the review process did not catch that and just let it happen because it was hilarious. Impossible.
Oh yeah. That would be a Doug move where I'd be like, yeah, looks good, looks great. And I'd be like, ha.
I've done that exact thing before, or I have intentionally finished something so that it had a secret something, just to see if it would slide by and just let it slide. And then when it was out there, it was like, hey, did you catch what I did?
Looky over there.
Yeah, definitely done that before. So I can just imagine seeing Troy Lee sitting in his office waiting for this to happen so he can just laugh his ass off the entire time.
Oh yeah. Dude, he probably has absolutely nothing to do with any of it anymore. I think he only paints helmets now.
Yeah. I mean, just even if he did though, it's like nothing would make me happier seeing him just giggle in his office when the internet explodes after they found this gear. It's so good.
How do you not though? Of course I am a giant man child. So I think those types of jokes are hilarious, right? Mm-hmm. But how do you not just be like, oh shit, that's actually really funny, but don't do it again? You know what I mean?
Yeah, even if he didn't catch it now, he's still laughing about it. If he didn't catch it originally, he's laughing about it now. I just hope that he saw it and was just waiting for this to happen so he could laugh even harder. It's so good. So good.
But other than that, I think we're pretty well done.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
Nah. The only other things that we do have, Bro Taco Hot Sauce. Go visit Sean at brotacofoods.com.
I got my 4 bottles of Brap Sauce in the mail yesterday. I think I opened it up today.
Dude, he packages them fucking mint, dude.
Oh, the new packaging. Yeah, it's changed again since the last one I got. It felt really classy. And he got a new sticker in there too that looks pretty sick. I don't know if I'm going to put it on, but it's pretty sick. It's got a nice matte finish on it. You got to find something to put it on.
Hell yeah. But if you want a cool sticker, see some cool packaging, and have some of the world's best hot sauce, brotacofoods.com, code PTTG for 20% off your order. Also, don't forget to stop over at sunstar-breaking.com. Hit support up with an email. Anything about PTTG in the subject, and you'll get 30% off your next order. Also, power the number 2, theground.com. Stop on over, play pick'ems with us. From Tiller not having high hopes, that guy scored a lot of points. You're probably still in the running if you have missed the first 2 weeks. So no issues there. I know I missed this week because I was out running around doing what I do on the weekends, which has everything to do with race fuel and horsepower. So I might or might not have missed this week.
And however, even then, I think we're definitely going to do. I haven't decided when we're going to. I guess if we're going to do it by a month, we've only got one more round in June. Yeah, so at the end of June, I'm going to throw some of my doll hairs in, and out of everybody that's entered or played around in June for the first 3 rounds of Moto, I'm going to do a little random email drawing for a gift certificate to somewhere. Just haven't decided where yet.
Ponderosa Steakhouse.
Maybe.
I don't even know if those still exist, dude. I don't know.
Maybe.
It just popped into my head. Jesse also says that he is gonna do a facelift in a couple weeks. So for the
cute.
Pick'ems page, not Jesse's actual face.
Oh, I was about to say I like the beard. I was gonna be sad if he did his own facelift.
Nah, he could just take some of like the beard hairs and just pull them up behind, just kind of tie him off or something like that. He's got a pretty short beard though. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure something out. But so be on the lookout for that. He's always messing around with the website. There's always cool new stuff going on there. So don't forget to stop over, power the number 2 theground.com. Stop over, say hi to all of us. We also have a Facebook, we have an Instagram, and we have a Discord that you can find on the Facebook page. I think Jesse pinned it up towards the top. So stop on over, say hi. You can talk shit to me, Tiller, and Jesse, or we can talk moto. It's up to you guys. Stop by, say hi. It's pretty fun.
Hi.
As you can see, we post random videos all the time on there. Like, hey, did you see this? Hey, did you see that? Hey, check this out. Hey, Justin Marshall's gear says anal. Oops, I said it. So that's Discord is apparently linked up on the homepage. So there we go. We got the old boss man on the YouTubes, which means we haven't been kicked off yet. So
it is very much on the homepage right there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I always get distracted by the video that I keep forgetting you can scroll down past that.
What? You're getting distracted by like shiny objects?
No. Never heard of it.
Right. All right, guys. Well, we're going to jump off and probably talk a little shit amongst ourselves on the back end until next Monday, 6:30. Not 6:31 like I started today. We're usually pretty good about starting at 6:30. However, we'll catch you then, and hopefully you get to jump on and play some pick'ems with us in the coming up rounds. Until next time. High point. Till next time, guys. Peace.